5-second warning. Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F1. It is League 2 action here for round 10 of the championship as we take in the United States Grand Prix from Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. Good evening everyone, of course, I am James Head, going to be taking you through the action as always on a Friday night, and joining me in the commentary box, we are very thrilled to have him back with us. It is of course my co-commentator extraordinaire, Paco Suarez. Paco, how you doing? If he's there, I hope he is. Ah, right. My co-commentator has now disappeared, it seems. Let's see if I can try and get him back. Anyways, I will try and speak through what happened last week, and I'll try and multitask at the same time. Oh, he's literally just joined me back. That's quite strange.
Yeah.
Are you here?
Yeah, there was that type between you lag out and come in again. So yeah, now I'm here. Hello.
He's
everyone.
here. He is here. Thank goodness for that. Technical difficulties have resolved themselves for once. And I was just about to go through. Obviously, you missed last week, Paco. People wondering where you've been. I know you were saying to me before that you were in hospital. Thank goodness you're back with us this week. I think it's fantastic. It was luckily just for a routine checkup and everything was fine and dandy, and he's obviously here tonight. So Mashiro took the drivers' championship last time out in Key. With that being said, the main battles, the drivers and the constructors, are over and done with. We can now enjoy ourselves for the final 2 rounds of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now, probably we still have some small fights, you know, or in the standings. But right now, at top of the championship, we don't have interesting fight. But I still think that's gonna be actually better, because probably Mashiro will probably be more aggressive, you know, if he has a bad race or whatever, he's gonna actually bring some good show.
Yeah, I think Mashiro obviously wrapping up the championship. I think him and Key will now have more freedom to go about their own races, and we might see some team-on-team battling perhaps in McLaren, or driver-on-driver battling I should say in McLaren. That would be quite interesting. To run through the standings quickly before we get going, Mashiro on 188 points leading away from Key in second on 121, Hada in third on 103 with Storm in fourth on 90 points, Pariah is in fifth on 65, just a point behind is Daniil, not racing tonight unfortunately. He's in 6th on 64 points. Axner's in 7th on 59, then a bit of a gap to Atlas Copo in 8th on 34, Conti in 9th on 30, and Mays in 10th on 29. We'll rattle through the rest quickly as well. Maximus on 29 as well, so tied for 10th position. Charlie is in 12th on 26 points, Jeffrey in 13th on 25, Passel's in 14th on 14, Shumi in 15th on 13, Vax Viking in 16th on 6, and a whole host of drivers on 2 points. Superhero, YWR Storm King, Koza and Tom picking up his first point scores of the season. Actually, Tom last time out was awarded driver of the day as a result, and they are all tied for 17th on 2 points. McLaren lead the constructors battle, 299 points. They've wrapped it up completely. Toro Rosso in second on 168, Racing Point in third on 116, Alfa Romeo in fourth on 93, Ferrari in fifth on 77, Red Bull in sixth on 55, Renault in seventh on 43, Mercedes in eighth on 31, Williams in ninth on 16, and Haas in 10th on 8 points. Rattled through in quick time, and we're about to get into the session. Let's take a look then at the track of the Circuit of the Americas. 20 corners await the guys out on track, 28 laps in total, race distance of 5.5 kilometres in length, a race distance of 50%, and we should see, I think, some very good racing out on track. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities here.
Yeah, definitely. There's a long straight, you know, I think it's one of the longest in the calendar, probably after Mexico. And I think that there's many interesting spots where drivers probably could try and overtake. And overall, I think it's a good circuit, you know, beautiful for racing, beautiful to drive in. and probably drivers will deliver today.
It's the same conditions as well in qualifying compared to what we had as well in TTL F1 League 1 last night. Beautiful blue skies, beautiful sunshine, and we've got the first cars coming out on track. And I spy with my little eye something beginning with M coming out the pits. It's a McLaren, and it's also a Toro Rosso first out on track. That, of course, is Pariah. I've got the mini-map enabled for some reason. There's the full track map on the right-hand side of your screen right now. And let's take in and have a look at Key, because obviously he's now second in the championship. Mashiro already wrapping up the championship last time out. He's going to have, I think, a bit more freedom to race his own teammate out on track and maybe even get the win.
Yeah, I mean, now probably he has nothing to lose. I mean, he has, he almost have for sure the second place in the standings, so probably now he will try to show that he can beat his teammate, you know, probably not in a long term, but in some races he can be up there with his teammate.
If he outscores Hades by 8 points out on track, he will secure second in the championship tonight, as long as Storm doesn't outscore both him and Hades. So that's an interesting angle to take. We're right on board with Tom as well, and Tom obviously picking up a fantastic result, his first points of the season, finishing 8th last week in Russia. He drove really well last week, but he's not driving that well because there's just been a massive desync on my screen, and unfortunately he's hit into the back of a Toro Rosso on my end. That's not the greatest thing to ride on with when you've got a graphic appearing on your left-hand side, I may say so myself. Deary me.
The pressure, you know.
No, honestly, it looked like a complete and utter desync. So Tom, unfortunately, having a bit of a desync. There was no damage on that car at all. But obviously, last week in Russia, he drove a very good and astute race. There was quite a few DNFs last week in Russia as well. So Tom picking up his first points of the season. Really, really good stuff from him. And we'll ride on board with Mashiro when he gets out on a lap. In the meantime, we'll focus on Key.
Pariah has said 24.9 in the sector. I don't know what Keith said.
Let me have a look.
But the Toro Rosso looks pretty fast, I have to say. He's on the softs.
Yeah, it's about a 4/10 difference. Key actually, I've just realised, is on a set of hard compound of tyres, so he's going to inevitably be slower than Pariah. And we'll ride on board with the Toro Rosso man out on track. Of course, Toro Rosso looking to gain second in the Constructors' standings, following their great run of form with Calsper, of course, in TTL F1 League 1, wrapping up the Constructors' Championship last time out. A 102.1 through the middle sector isn't half bad, to be honest, for League 2 standards.
No, it's actually not. I mean, it's pretty fast, but I don't know if Pariah is gonna actually finish a lap. Like, probably the strategy here is soft hards or soft mediums, but I would be surprised if he is already starting, you know, fastest lap with the softs. As we can see, he has run out of ERS.
132.4. Very nice lap bar, I think, from Pariah. Sets the standard for tonight. We'll run on board as well with Mashiro quickly, and we'll speak about him. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres. Obviously, Mashiro, his run of results, they speak for themselves. 5 wins in a row. Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, and I think it even extends beyond that. But Mashiro, Drivers' Champion, obviously out on track, doing a fantastic job. We're seeing the lap times flood in. Where do you expect him to see? Well, where do you expect to see him in this qualifying session?
I don't really know. Like, I would say probably I expect Mashiro on pole. I don't know if he's gonna try, you know, different things, like maybe starting at the back, you know, to have some fun or what. But probably at the front, if he does normal laps, I would expect him to be up there, and probably Key, you know, the Toro Rossos, and probably a Storm. Probably they will be pretty close between them.
Goodness me, Mashiro taking very high revs through the first sector, through 3, 4, 5 and 6. Of course, a Herman Tilke designed track this. I'm on board with Passels currently at the minute. A 104.2 through the middle sector, not really setting the times alight. Hades and Pariah, though, top 2 at the minute, with nearly 6 minutes gone in qualifying. 600ths of a second between both teammates. They look quite consistent, I think, so far out on track, but I'm not surprised, actually, they're on a set of soft compound tyre, because they will only last, what, maybe 7 laps, possibly, as Pascal comes across the line with a 35.5, and I'll come on to the tyre graphic when the formation lap starts, and we'll talk you through the strategies then. But honestly, with both Toro Rossos out on top, maybe it's now ball in Toro Rosso's court for tonight. Saying that, Axnes just goes top with a 32.1 to Axnes, going quicker. And again, he's really put in some good qualifying sessions actually this week, this season so far. I think out of his last 4 qualifying sessions, he's been in the top 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, which is fantastic.
I honestly think that if Axnes has probably awakened, you know, before, he could have been probably fighting for something else. I think he started poorly the championship, but in the last few races and in qualifying, he has shown that he has space to actually try and be up there with the rest.
He's qualified 2 times on pole position this season. Belgium and Russia, last time out, he qualified on pole. And everyone this season, as Mays has gone 4th with a 32.7. Yeah. Nice lap there by Mays.
Decent.
On in the Renault. Fantastic lap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I'm speechless. Like, he has actually done a pretty decent lap, and it's only his first attempt. So probably he can improve.
He's tried to nick Blizzard's setup, I wonder, because he's tonight, which is good to see, but he's clearly been putting in the hours of practice that is necessary. Storm, by the way, is on a lap. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres, one of the main championship, well, I would say main championship protagonists, but I'm lying there. The main championship runner-up protagonists, I should say, is Storm is now coming through turn 9, where we saw a couple of spins last night in both qualifying and the race. Vapron was one of those that spun through turn 9. And let's just speak about the track for a minute, because obviously it's Circuit of the Americas. It is so hard, I think, to get a valid qualifying lap in, but the majority of the guys so far have got their laps in, which I'm quite surprised in.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to know that. And actually Storm, if I'm not mistaken, he has set the fastest second sector. No, actually he's on hards. Probably it's a game glitch.
Yeah, and more than likely be his personal best middle sector. I think that's what the game currently indicates. Yeah. I think if it was a purple throughout the 3 sectors, then obviously it would be the fastest lap. It's just a bit of a game glitch, but we're still getting used to this, even if we have got about a month and a half left of the game cycle. And of course we'll come on to our future plans for TTL going forward in just a second. So across the line, by the way, going ahead of Tom by 0.8 of a second, a 34.5 on a set of hards. I mean, we're halfway through qualifying. Axnes on top, Pariah second, Hades third. I'm not shocked in that top 3 at all.
I mean, probably Kiki or Storm and Mashiro probably waiting, you know, for the last minutes to set, you know, their lap. So I wouldn't forget about those 3. Probably in the final minutes they'll set a banger of a lap.
Yeah, I was just watching Charlie on the lap. You might have heard me go, oh, out on track. He had a bit of opposite lock coming out of turn 15. He was going quick. He was probably going to go around Storm Tom sort of area, but he came back into the pits, clearly not feeling happy with that lap. And McLaren literally comes out the pits in front of him, which is not that great.
Kiki.
Yeah, that was Key, I think, coming out the pits. They literally ghosted inside of each other, which wouldn't be allowed in real life Formula 1, if we have a season, of course, this season. Atlas Coppo is on a lap. Another one of the main protagonists of qualifying, I think, going forward into tonight in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate currently on provisional pole. Let's see what lap he's going to do. He's run out of ERS right at the end of his lap, but Atlas Coppo around the final corner. Could go 5th, I think, with this lap. No, just drops in behind Conti. He's about 3/10 off Conti. But a nice lap there by Atlas Coppo and goes 6th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not that close, you know, to the top 5. I mean, he's 3/10 away from Conti, that is actually on a lap right now, as well as Bal Spiking. but probably he has time. He has 7 minutes, well, almost 8, to try and set a faster lap.
Yeah, Conti just improving there to 32.4. He's only 15 hundredths of a second off Hadders, and the second to fourth are separated by less than 800, or just over 800ths of a second out on track. That's quite close.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, people like Conti, you know, Maith, you know, getting or reaching their best at the end of the season, and it's actually like, in a way, disappointing, you know, because you hope that probably they could have done that earlier in the season, but it seems like now, or at least in these final couple of races, they are like driving much better.
Max Viking just coming across the line there as well, the Williams driver, going 7th. 134.0, and of course I had my double stint of mini league, so I commentated on the OWR guys in mini league 3. It was, I think they might have finished at the bottom of mini league 3 if I'm not mistaken. I haven't actually called up on the points for mini league 3, but Max Viking actually drove consistently well in both of his races on Wednesday, and again I think that's shown by his qualifying so far. Yes, there's quicker guys behind him, but truly Vax Viking is going to be top 10 in this qualifying session if the guys behind invalidate and don't improve.
There's still 6 minutes, plenty of things can happen, but I honestly think that if the guys behind don't go onto a faster tire, definitely actually Vax Viking should be able to keep that 7th spot, or at least to be in the top 10.
I have a feeling you're on board with Key by some chance. Tom is weaving profusely down the straight. He's going to get in the way here of Key. I'm not sure what is going on. He is going to have to run his lap, and I'm not sure what Tom is actually thinking here. Tom is not on a lap whatsoever, and Key has just been totally blocked on that lap. I'm sure there will be words in Discord after that, because that seemed to me as if it was quite unfair. Key was up by 5/10 of a second in that first sector, and now he's just had his lap, to be honest, ruined. And again, he's getting close to a Red Bull.
We'll have to see, because it seems like he's still pushing.
He is,
and he gets a 10th.
I'm seeing him coming around the final corner.
I think it's desync between you and... I'm actually going to check the stream to see what you're seeing.
This is very strange. He's just gone across the line. It's a 33.4 his lap time, but I think I'm desynced to Key by some chance.
I'm watching your point of view, and he was no way near the Red Bull. Yeah, probably Codemaster thing.
That's definitely a Codemasters thing. I think it's probably, to be honest, because I rejoined the session after I tested my internet out, so that's probably why it is desynced. So we're going to have to cope with that. One of the main championship contenders, or championship runner-up contenders, Key, will be desynced on my screen, but I will have to take it from Paco's screen, as Maxus went 8th there, I think.
Yeah, with the mediums. Yeah, and he's 4/10 behind Key. And that's surprising, because at the start of the session he was 1 second off Storm, you know, with the same tire. And now it seems like he has picked up his pace, and he could actually probably challenge, or at least be close from Key and Storm.
Ooh. Catching the end of Mashiwell's lap there, 33.1 for the McLaren man, and he goes fastest out of the Japanese, out of the guys on a set of mediums. So the Japanese man going up to 6th position. He's only 4/10 off Mays, who's on a set of softs. Mashiwell can surely improve to a 32 flat, I'm thinking.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna have time to... No, I don't think he's gonna have time to go into the pits and change tires. I think he's probably satisfied with that lap, you know, and the strategy he's choosing to go with. But it will be interesting to see how he faces the race, because it would be the first time that the McLaren guys start with a harder tire. And now Maith is starting his lap, so I would suggest you to go on board with him, you know, and see if he can actually improve.
Let's run on board with him. He's coming up through turn 1, and the Renault man Now down the hill towards turn 2, and it's looking good so far. Obviously, it's not really a difficult first sector until you get to the S section, which really replicates Maggots and Beckett and also the Center S's through in Japan. But through the first sector, he's 2 tenths up already through the first sector. Is Mays getting driven by somebody else tonight, I wonder? That might be a running joke of the night, I think. He's doing a fantastic job, he's 2 tenths up.
I think that Blither is on board instead of Mace, you know?
I'll tell you what though, if he's going to improve in these final 2 sectors, he's going to be ahead of Pariah with this race. So Mays, interestingly, could be going one of the quicker guys out on track. But it's quite stark, actually, to see a bit of a difference in the strategy. Mashiro, Key, Storm, Maximus, Charlie and Jeffrey have all qualified on the 7 medium compound of tyres. YWR Storm's the only one that hasn't. Mays up 3 tenths in the middle sector. This will put him 3rd, theory, at best, because it will be a 132.446, if I'm not mistaken, out on track. So that'll put him just ahead of Hades by about 200ths of a second. But don't trust me until he gets around the final corner. And hopefully he is going around the final corner on your screen as well at the same time, Paco. Yeah. Mays there coming around the final corner, looking very, very neat indeed. At the final corner, goes second. Found another 10th. And Mays goes really second, nice. 32.3. But is there going to be any response, I wonder, from Key especially? I'm thinking of him behind. We could see some improvements further down the field. Mashiwo has retired from the session. He is back into the pits and will take no further part in this session. Pariah has just started off on a lap as well. I think we've got Passels on a lap, if I'm not mistaken. Where is he out on track? He's coming around the final corners. He's 9 thousandths down through the middle sector. Let's see what the Renault man can do. The Belgian through the final corner. Is he going to improve? He will. Oh, and he goes 10th. He finds 7/10 of a second in the final sector alone. So Passels goes 10th ahead of Maximus, but still slower than Storm and Mashiro and Key on a set of mediums.
Yeah, and I think now it's gonna be interesting to see if Key finishes his lap, you know. Probably, I think he's gonna see if he's gonna be beaten, you know, by other drivers, and if he's not, then I think he'll stay with the medium tires.
He's definitely decent on my screen, so I'll have to let you take us for a lap of Key, I think, out on track. Pariah, in the meantime, is coming through the middle sector. He's about 3.33 up in the middle sector for Pariah, just over 0.3 of a second, and he's looking good. And this, in theory, is going to be provisional pole out on track, and will sneak into the 131s regardless. So Pariah coming round Verstappen corner through 16, 17, 18. Qualifying has now ended. There's a Renault ahead coming into the pits, which is Passels or Mates, I think. Pariah now around the final corner. I think this is going to be a 31.8. You watch Pariah across the line. Oh, it's a 32 flat, not too far off though, and he goes 4/10 quicker than his provisional best. Axnes is already 2/10 up, and I wonder actually if there's a bit of a decent going on as well with a Toro Rosso on my screen. There is, and it's Hades and Axnes going down the straight. Are you seeing this on your screen as well by any chance?
I'm actually watching Key on board, so I cannot confirm you about Axnes, but he's still on a lap on my
Where is
camera. He? On the long straight, or I think he's in the 3rd sector, but I'm watching Key that is on the final corner, and he's improving by 1 second and something, and let's see if he can. Yeah, exactly. 1:32.17. Amazing.
It's a 31.7. Don't take it from my screen that he said a 31.7 at all. Axnes, by the way, through turn 19 is improving by 1/10 of a second. It looked like there was a decent possibly with Hades. Axnes across the line goes second, nicks it ahead of Pariah. Hades across the line goes 3rd, 31.9. So we're seeing a lot of improvements later on in the session. Atlas Coppo across the line improved by 1/10. Doesn't improve his lap though. And back to Viking across the line. I don't think he improved on his position. Might have improved on his time. We'll confirm that in just a second. But 2 desyncs at the end of qualifying there. Hades having a bit of a moment in Key. So I'm desynced to both of them. Key though takes it by 1/10 of a second. For Maxnes in 2nd. Hades is in 3rd with Pariah in 4th. just over 0.3 of a second separating the top 4. Conti in 5th, Mays in 6th. Very good qualifying from him, and hopefully that will set him good for the race, and hopefully he's lucky within the race for once as well. Mashiro in 7th, Tom in 8th. I tell you what, good qualifying from him as well. Atlas Copo in 9th, Storm in 10th, Passel's 11th, Maximus 12th, Max Viking 13th, Charlie 14th, Jeffrey 15th, and YWL Storm the only one not to set a lap time out on track. Hopefully the desyncs will fix itself, but Paco, obviously we're going to have a look at the track once again. Where are the main points of overtaking around the Circuit of the Americas track within the race?
Well, I think it's obvious at the first corner and probably, at the beginning of the race. It's a really good spot to try and overtake. Then you have the hairpin, the sort of hairpin, before the long straight. Probably you can try and overtake there as well, but the smartest thing to do is probably wait with the DRS open, to finish the overtake after that straight, so the other driver cannot take your slipstream. And probably after there, there's not a clear corner to overtake. Probably I would say also turn 15. But yeah, after that it's probably, if a driver is able to pull out a move on those corners, it's a great driver,
Formation lap is about to begin in 3 seconds time roughly, and we're about to get going within the session. And thank you very much to Paco for taking us through the run through of the track map there as well. Hopefully we're going to get underway. And is that right, what I've just seen there?
There's no formation lap.
There is no.
So all right. So we've
got a desync lobby. We've got a desync lobby, I think. Everyone has crashed on my screen, pretty much.
And it's, on my screen,
the race has started apparently.
Yeah.
So are we racing? Are we racing, or is this ping pong?
Or ping pong. Mate, what's happening?
Maze, I think, is going to restart. Yeah, he's left the session. I think we're going to have a restarted session here. I think the formation lap has ended, so we'll get probably the grid. We can have a screenshot of that provided to Maze, and hopefully we'll be getting going. But Axel is currently out in front. Tom is up to 4th, fighting Conti. We'll have to commentate on this in the meantime to try and fill in with the action.
Keep on the outside of Axnes.
Hey, he's not on my screen. He's not on my screen.
My God. What lobby is this? Help.
Goodness me. Well, anyways, everyone is still racing out on track. This is probably the weirdest race I've ever commentated on, and I'm really assuming that we are going to be setting up a new lobby. Thank God.
Weirder than the 2005 Grand Prix, USA Grand Prix that only 6 people raced in. Codemaster is a treasure that must be saved throughout time. The way they discover new glitches, it's just awesome.
This is so strange. You're seeing one race and I'm seeing the other, which is absolutely fantastic. Hades and Key, by the way, both desync still on my screen. I'm just trying to get an update to see if this race is going to be restarted in terms of the race. And Jeffrey has left the session. I think we're going to have a new session going here.
Yeah, in the stream they're watching nothing because Honey Badger has
got into technical difficulties. Good.
Yeah. So.
Oh well, that's absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, by the way, for sticking with us during our technical difficulties. We are definitely going to be back with on-track action very soon indeed. I'm going to quit to the main menu, and everyone crashing out there in the background of shot. Never nice to see, but. I don't know what to talk about now. We can't really go through the tyre strategies because we've got a graphic for that and we can't really show it.
Wait, I think we have a perfect thing to say, alright? And I'm actually gonna say it. I hope Honey Badger is sticking with us so he can actually put the graphic. Remember, alright, that last week it was announced the deal, a partnership with TMC. So in order to keep up to date with this tier, the TTL, now it's gonna be called TTML F1. And in order to follow on Twitter, the user is TTML_F1. You should be seeing that in your screen, alright? Or I hope that you're watching that in your screen, but just to announce that.
Yeah, TT Masters League I think is going to be fantastic. Myself and Kieran were speaking about it last night as well on TTL F1. And honestly, I think it is a fantastic move going forward. We're going to have so many more commentators as well. So you're not going to be seeing me every night, which is, I think, one of the more important things. And I'm going to get a couple of days rest, which is always nice. But honestly, I think that the merge with TMC, obviously TMC have been part of our mini-leagues before in the past, and it is just fantastic to see the amount of sign-ups. I think the last time I saw was yesterday afternoon, and we had over 80 sign-ups. 80 sign-ups out there for the season, which I think was absolutely fantastic. I'm just rejoining into the session now. I've just rejoined in. So, hopefully this is going to be take 2, and apparently we're in the multiplayer car.
Well, I mean, probably they're still setting up the thing, but they'll get it ready. And I cannot stop laughing about the comment that Charlie has put in the chat. Thought I was suffering from memory loss, then, and I forgot the formation lap. No, don't worry, Charlie. I mean, formation lap was off. So now it should be fine. The next in this attempt. And Maith asking who took me out there. Well, I don't really know. We couldn't see anything. It would be a miracle if we could actually see what happened there. But yeah. I liked our reaction because we suddenly, like, we were expecting formation lap, and suddenly everyone was like a race, a race start.
I was about to go through the tyre strategies and everything, and I was thinking to myself, this is that nobody can be going off through turn 1 and pretty much catapulted about 20 feet wide of the corner. And that was a Toro Rosso. I think it was Hades, if I was not mistaken. So. Yeah. That was strange. Anyways, I'm sure that part might get edited out. It can't, sadly. But thank you very much for sticking with us in the meantime. We are still in the process of getting underway for the race. It is just going to be a 50% race. If we can, if anybody has given the qualifying results, by the way, to Maze, if you haven't, if we can screenshot that from our stream earlier on, that would be fantastic. So, obviously, we will have that grid editor on. And of course, it just remains to be said, formation that will be on this time. We'll make sure that it will be on. And I'm trying to see actually if it is on the bottom of my screen, but I can't see it.
Wait.
I think it's in the other
formation that disappeared from the game.
I hope not.
No, I actually this is weird because I remember that other times I have been able to see it. I hope it's on. I mean, I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake twice.
No,
it would
definitely
actually
not.
be weird. But yeah, I'm still surprised. We have loyal viewers. We have about 12 viewers watching. So thank you to everyone that is sticking with us during this technical issue. And yeah, as the race started, I was like, and the predictions. We didn't do the predictions, and I'm gonna actually take advantage of this technical issue, and I'm gonna ask you, so we have more time to cover the strategy issue and all that, and I'm gonna ask you about your prediction, your podium prediction for this race.
My podium prediction, I think Key's going to win this one. He's starting on pole position, obviously, so Key, I think, will take this. Mashiro, I think, will be second. And for third, down in 10th position, quite interesting to see, Storm. I think Storm could get third position out on track. And just to run through, before I ask you your top 3 prediction, the qualifying results, we have got them here. So I will run you through now and what you can expect and what order everyone's going to be in. Key on pole from Axnes in second, Hades third, Pariah fourth, Conti in fifth, Mays in 6th with Mashiro 7th, Tom in 8th, Atlas Copo 9th, Storm in 10th, Passel's in 11th, Maximus 12th, Vax Viking 13th, Charlie 14th, and then onto the bottom half it is Jeffrey and YWR Storm starting 15th and 16th position. So that all being said, who's your top 3, Suarez?
Well, I like how you've gone really cautious, you know, in your prediction. I have to say, but I've come here to play and to risk it. So I'm gonna go with Harris on the win today. I'm gonna put second Key because I think he has good pace. And I'm gonna put May in 3rd. Like, I really think that today's his day. I mean, probably he's not that close. I mean, probably 2 tenths behind. But I think there's gonna be something that is gonna happen. And he's gonna be that constant that he's gonna be able to fight for the podium today.
Yeah, May's starting in 6th, obviously. I think he's got a very good chance of trying to make up positions early on, especially past Conti, who I think might be a little bit weak going down into turn 1. I don't want to sound rude by saying that. I just think it might happen, and there might be some form of contact that will force him through. I think the grid is getting set, or has been set, and we are just moments away from coming back live as well. Everyone has readied up. Has Conti readied up, though, is the main thing. That's normally an indicator. He has, so the grid has now been completed, so we're going to be coming back live in about 15 seconds time roughly for the lap. And I'm sure with Tom, who was doing a fantastic job behind the scenes, by the way, I'm sure he would give us a wave if he was on a face cam or anything like that. But he has really been making these streams alive, and this is why you're seeing the replay cams, the tyre graphics, all the graphics that's before the race as well. All thanks goes to him, so massive shout out to Tom in the background, Honey Badger of course, to everyone known in TTG. A real asset, I think, going forward, and of course we're going to be producing more graphics as we go into the future for TT Masters League, which should be quite exciting. And of course, we reiterate that point, at TTML_F1, I think, is the Twitter handle that you guys want to be following for all the latest news and opinions and everything like that on the action. Speaking of action, we're about to get underway for, hopefully this is going to be take 2 of the formation lap, or take 1 for the formation lap and take 2 for the race. Obviously, we are here tonight at the Circuit of the Americas. Everyone, I think, has been told to start on the same set of compound of tyres that they qualified on, and I'm sure if everybody does that, nobody will end up with a slapped wrist at the end of the night. But yeah, we're about 30 seconds away from starting the stream. Starting the race, I should say. Let's have a look, if we can, if it'll appear like magic at the track map again for the 3rd time tonight. Circuit of the Americas, 20 corners out on track, 2 DRS zones, 1 down the start-finish straight, 1 down towards turn 12. The main opportunities for overtaking probably going to be down towards turn 1, maybe even through the S section. Down into turn 11 can be an overtaking spot, down into turn 12. Normally the final corner is an overtaking spot, and I'm very pleased to say the formation lap is on, and it looks like everyone is now undesynced on my screen, which is fantastic. So we should have a full commentary. Yeah, I mean, this cannot go better, you know? I mean, everything is brilliant. Now is where all the glitches start, you know, and suddenly the stream is off. But no, let's hope everything goes fine throughout the race. Everyone in the top 10, by the way, pleased to report they're all starting on the same compound of tyres as they qualified on. So no slapped wrist from anyone in behind. Yeah. Of course, it bears into question, though, the guys in behind, from 11th down to 16th, looking at what those guys qualified on, but of course they have the free range of tyres. Yep. They're all on a set of mediums, apart from YWR Storm, who's taken the exception rather than the rule, and going for a set of soft compound of tyres. Looking at the tyre graphic, which should magically appear on your screen about now, lap 1 to lap 7 to 10 is the range for the softs to go, and and maybe even earlier than that. We saw pit stops happening lap 4, lap 5 because of a threat of rain later on in the race, which turned out to be true. They will last about 18, 19, 20 laps towards on a set of mediums towards the end of the race. if the guys are going for the alternate strategy, like the likes of Mashiro and Storm in the top 10, they're going to be on worn softs, if we can call it that. Obviously they're on fresher tyres here, but lap 1 to lap 17-20 is for the mediums to run. Again, air lap with a bit of caution because we saw a couple of pit stops happening earlier on in the session. Set of softs will last to the end from around that point. How do you see the tyres degrading around this track? And it's going to be so important, I think, to really manage the tyres in this first half of the race.
I think people that start on mediums have it easier than people starting on soft, because you can stretch mediums, but soft are more difficult to stretch. So I think it's going to be interesting, drivers like Mashiro, Storm, to see where they end up, and drivers to like Key or Axnes to see how they manage their tires. So I think we're going to have an interesting race, strategically speaking.
And just a reminder about our top 3 as well. Paco, your top 3 was Hades, Key and Maze, if I'm not mistaken. Mine was a little bit more left field, to be honest. I know they're starting further down the field, and I've gone a little bit riskier. Key for the win, Mashiro second, Storm in third. Have a look at that. TTG Storm, by the way, not YWR Storm. TTG Storm for third. As we take a beautiful view on board with Key. It's just moments away from the start of the United States Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights. And it is, as YWR Storm gets a drive through, it's light turn, away we go. Axnes gets a good start, so does Key, so does Hades. Trying to go around the outside of both of them in towards turn 1. Key takes the defensive line. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving in the background. Axnes is through to the lead of the race. Axnes is through, gets the move done. He got punted, I think, by a Toro Rosso in the background. Give him a bit of a helping hand, and Axnes is through. Oh, and there's a major crash in the background. Mashiro has been caught up in it, and I think it might be Jeffrey, is it, that's caught up in that as well. It's Conti, in fact, the other Red Bull caught up in that. Mashiro coming into contact with one of the drivers, and that is his chance. Luckily, he's wrapped up the championship already. Otherwise, that would have been a disastrous start for him. As we come down towards turn 11 for the first time, it is Axnes who leads, Key in second, Hades in third. Now they come on to the 1 kilometre straight pretty much around here. Atlas Copo trying to get past Maze in the background of shot. It's now 6/10 of a second separating. Parcells has got the move done on Maximus, and you said Atlas Copo's got damage.
Maith has damage in the left template. Yeah.
Key going around the outside of Axnes into turn 12, gets the move done.
Wow.
He had the car ahead. Fantastic bravery from Key around the outside. Axnes has to hang on for second position. Hades is on the back of this as well. Pariah is now 9/10ths off. Everyone looking clean and behind. Maximus has just lost a couple of positions in behind. Back Spiking has gone past him as well as Passos, I think. But Key running round Verstappen corner through 16, 17 and 18 for the first time has got a 5/10th lead. Axnes in second, Hades in third. Maze has been overtaken as well by Atlas Copo up into sixth position. And Pariah, interestingly, is into the pits. I think he might have left side end plate damage if I'm not mistaken. Maybe off the contact with Axnes, but at the end of lap 1, it is Key who leads. Axnes second. Hades is on the back, could go for the move in towards turn 1, he can't. Tom is into 4th position out on track. He's doing fantastically well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was gonna commentate that after turn 1. It's surprising how he is 4th, but I don't think it's gonna last long. I mean, look at Atlas, it's all over the hasts. And it's gonna be, I mean, today could be the biggest opportunity for Tom to try and get points, you know, as much points as he can.
I think Maximus, I've just seen it on the mini-map, I didn't catch on board. I think Maximus has just gone around the outside of Passos through turn 6 or 7. Missed that, but I think it was a great move. I saw that on the mini-map. So Atlas Copo on the back of Tom. He's under pressure from TTG Storm as well, so Storm. Yeah, let's just gloss over Mashiro down at the back of the field for my prediction. Atlas Copo, though, going around the outside of Tom in towards turn 12, much later on the brakes, much more committed. Has he got the car stopped? He has. He just about keeps it on track, and that was a plain sailing move around the outside. Atlas Copo is through, and he's up into 4th position. I'm seeing battling further down the field as well, as Charlie has got the move done on Bax Viking. He's now up into 10th position, and YWR Storm is through on Pariah as well, so he's up into 13th.
Yep, I mean, we have had many position changes in the first lap, and it's interesting to see how Tom has been able, you know, to overtake some drivers. Then we have Storm, you know, making an amazing recovery.
Ooh.
As we have a Red Bull
Conti.
The other way around is Conti, yeah. Unfortunate for him. I mean, Conti, Mashiro, They haven't had the best start, as well as Pyraya. I feel bad for them, you know, because when you are up there, because actually Conti was starting 5th, and he was someone hit his rear, and he had the bad luck to lose the control of the car.
Oh! Access has just made a major mistake coming out of turn 9. Sorry to cut in there on you there, Paco, but Access very wide through turn 9 and has lost the position to Hades. Very, very stuck, and Passel's is round through turn 8 as well, just in behind. It's catching that on the mini-map. So Passel's is round, and also YWR Storm is round through 5 and 6. So plenty of spinners, I think, out on track. I think it's fair to say Passel's and Storm will have to get the cars going again. Mashiro was now ahead of Conti as a result of him pitting in, but Axnes, with a major mistake, gives Hades a free position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen Axnes, you know, having issues, you know. We saw in Singapore, you know, when he was to it and he went into the wall, and today he almost makes a huge mistake. Fortunately, he has only lost a position, so he should be able to recover from that.
Maze is into the pits on lap 4, so one of the early pit stops, like I warned, within the formation lap. Maze is into the pits. Passel's is round through turn 15. I'm on board with Mashiro, so let's run on board with him, and he's actually lost it through front right, front left tyre, I think that has completely gone off the car. So Passel's out of the race. Very similar to Vaporon or Dill Warren last night, I think it was Dill Warren last night, and Passos has unfortunately left the session. We run on board with Mashiro though. There's not really much going on in terms of battling, so we'll focus on Mashiro and put up his last results. 6 wins in a row for Mashiro. Tonight, you would imagine he's got it all to do.
Yeah, there was, I mean, it was destiny, you know, that in a race he was going to lose that amazing streak of victories, and like he was not at fault of the incident, probably. I mean, I couldn't see exactly what happened, but probably it was not his fault. It was a racing incident, and he was involved in it, and I feel bad for him because he was having a nice streak. But hey, now is the opportunity for Kie or Hades, you know, to take the win.
Yeah, and there is Hades. We ride on board with him now, the Norwegian chasing down the Brit out on track. We're about to start lap 5. Any of the top 3 pitting in? No, I think Axnes was actually having a little bit of a look towards the pit lane. I wonder if Atlas Coppa was coming in. He's not. So both Alfa Romeos going out on track for now. But across the line to start lap 5, it is Key who leads. Hades second, Axnes third, Atlas Copo fourth. Tom is still 5th, by the way. The Welshman doing a fantastic job. We've seen a rebirth of him, I think, since Russia, and he's doing a fantastic job out on track. Storm is in 6th, Maximus 7th, Charlie 8th, Max Viking 9th, Jeffrey 10th, and the rest pretty much out of it until the second half of the race. Pariah, Maze, Mashiro, Storm, and Conti all out there, out on track. Passel's, of course, DNFing out of the race. Looks like he probably overheated the rear end, and that is why he lost the back end through turn 14, and that's why we've lost him out of the race. Jeffrey's got the move done on back to Viking, who was round, and now Storm is on the back of Tom, trying to go for the move down in towards turn 11, but he's playing the wise tactic. Going to wait until the DRS zone, and this should be pretty easy pickings, I think, for Storm. Storm, of course, out of the DRS. Hopefully he's going to come across on Storm. Storm, though, comes across on Tom, and Storm gets past. Not going to get that one done lightly, but Storm gets the move done, and he's up into 5th position. Good move.
And we can see Hades is now pretty close from Key, and I have to say about the strategy, I actually see Maximus and Storm probably finishing on the podium today.
Yeah, Maximus currently in 7th position, Storm in 5th as well. I did predict him for top 3, so at least that's something going right. And Key obviously out on top. It's currently 2 out of my top 3 predictions kind of going right. Hades, though, in the meantime, right on the back. Is he going to be close enough down towards turn 1? Key just pulls and breaks the toe. I'm not going to get the move done there. Apologies about the black box, by the way, coming across in my top left. Somebody was appearing online right through turn 1, but Key currently leading the way from Hades in second. Axnes has now dropped off slightly. The gap was 1.5 seconds. It came down slightly to 1.1. So Axnes trying to hang on in there. Just got to maintain, I think, the tyre temps in that set of soft compound of tyres. Of course, it is technically a worn set that these guys are on. Obviously, with the lobby restart. And what did you just see there? Was that Key making a mistake?
I mean, no, it was actually Axnes.
Oh, Atlas Coppo's round. Sorry to cut in. Atlas Coppo was round through turn 8. So he has lost the soft compound tyres. He was in 4th at the moment. Nobody around him. So Atlas Coppo is round. He's down into 8th position. And Hades on the back of Key. I'll come back to you in a minute. Pack up Hades is right on the outside of Key. Trying to get the move done. Oh, and then he moves across into his breaking point there.
Oh, nice switch back.
Can he get the switch back from Heaven? He can't. Key is ahead.
Wait for it. I think it was going to actually be... and I was talking about, like, both Alfa Romeo struggling. I was surprised because Axnes almost lost the back end twice. And probably he will start thinking about pitting because I think those softs are practically done.
Axnes not coming in yet. Atlas Coppo, I wonder if he's going to come in. He has to. He's overheated the tyres already on this lap. He hasn't picked up any end plate damage, by the way, from that mistake. So Atlas Coppo is into the pits. So he decides finally to come into the pits and go back on board with the bumper of Hades. He's 5/10 off the back of Key and is the closest battle out on track for the lead of the race. Let's have a look at the position gains actually from this race. If I can try and find the position gains out on track. Oh, and Thomas round through turn 1. I think he's just overheated the rear slightly. And he's lost 2 positions to Maximus and Charlie. Unfortunate, but he's still in 7th. He's doing a good job.
Yeah. I have to agree there. I mean, there's still plenty of race to go. Plenty of laps to go. So probably he can recover from that. Oh, and we have a 5.
Maze has just sailed it around the outside of Atlas Coppo. Atlas Coppo just came out the pits. Maze making it look pretty easy, regardless if he's on a fresh set of tyres or not. Atlas Coppo has just been made, honestly, to look like an absolute mug. Maze has just done him, ran the outside through turn 1, gets him up into 11th position. Good move.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say, I'm surprised because today the race is gonna be weird. I mean, in terms of drivers that generally are not up there. Today it's like the biggest chance they're gonna have to, finish in a high position, like probably Charlie, like probably Maximus.
Top 3
we
are
see
in.
both leaders spin. Yeah, top 3 actually.
Key, Hades into the pits, Axnes all not speeding into the pit lane, which is good to see. It's now going to promote Storm into the lead of the race out on track. The physical net lead one will be when these guys come out the pits. And around lap 8, to the start of lap 8, it's pretty much bang on what we said in the formation lap.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I have to say that Pyraya could actually undercut. No, he's way too far. I was going to say that probably he could try and undercut, but yeah, he's pretty far from those 3.
Atlas Coppo's mistake has really cost him. He's been cost about 12 seconds, I think. That is how much that mistake cost him out on track, because Hades, Key and Axnes have all came out relatively within the same point of each other. That's massive.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Mace because I thought he was going to be closer, because he pitted some laps earlier, and although he pitted for hards, I thought it could be enough, to try and reduce the gap he lost with that front wing change. But he's pretty far. I mean, probably he'll overtake Tom. I think he's gonna be fighting with Tom and Charlie for the rest of the race.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Hannah's getting close to the back of Jeffrey. First challenge for these guys, who are the net leaders on the race. A little bit of traffic ahead, and that is Jeffrey, of course. And Jeffrey will not know how to give up on this. He will hold these guys up and will force the guys into contention. But saying that, Hades is trying to go down the inside, possibly do 16, 17 and 18. He's just got to bide his time here. Jeffrey on a set of medium compound of tyres. Atlas Copel, by the way, got the move done on Maze further down the field. So he's now and Key on the outside.
Yeah,
no,
that That was optimistic.
But now Hadders has lost time to Jeffrey, and Hadders is now under pressure from Key and behind. Are we going to see it 2 for 1? Hadders is down the inside of Jeffrey. Jeffrey holds on just about. He's wide of the corner. Brilliant racing. Hadders trying to go around the outside. This is going to be side by side through turn 3. We saw this last night with Chapelelli, and luckily they've got through there well. But look at Key. Key down the inside through turn 6. He's trying to get the move done. He can't. And Key somehow. Maximus is round just ahead. Yep. Maximus round through turn 8. So on the mini-map, literally when you caught it, I caught as well. Hadders on the back of Jeffrey. Jeffrey is not really giving these guys any room at all. And Key surely is in the perfect opportunity to take maybe 2 positions out on track. He's got a very good setup in that car.
Probably we're going to have a 3 wide.
Here's a double toe, a little bit of lag back from Hadders, but it is going to be 3 wide. They're split across the track. Key down the inside, Hadders through the middle, and he has to give way, and Key gets both of them done. Fantastic move, and Hadders is trying to switch it back on Jeffrey. Jeffrey not giving any room at all. Axnes has came onto the back of this like a bolt out of the blue. Hadders now down the inside into turn 15. Surely he's going to have to commit this one, and he does. Hadders, fantastic stuff, gets the move done on Jeffrey. He's through and he's up to 5th position, and Axnes is not overdone with as well, and he's going up the inside and around the outside of turn 19 possibly. No way is Axes going to complete this. He picks up a 3-second time penalty. My God, this is great racing. Fantastic stuff out on track.
And I think he got a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, I mean, amazing stuff.
Jeffrey.
I like when...
Sorry to cut in as well. Jeffrey just pushing along. Axes down the straight. Axes is down the inside. And he gets the move done. He's up into 5th, or is he? They lean on each other, but inside line will prevail. Yeah, Axes gets the move done onto 5th. Sorry, Paco, what were you saying?
No, that it's amazing when people when slower drivers, you know, that probably are on slower tires or older tires, get in the way of faster drivers, because it always gives that spicy, you know, situation. Because people that are maybe a little bit off can actually catch up, and it's what happened there, you know. Hadders was in the virtual lead, and thanks to Tom and thanks to Jeffrey, he has been able to overtake Hadders.
Yeah, Hadders now 6/10 behind and nearly losing control of the car under the brakes. He just got caught on the curb slightly. Pariah is going to sail past Maximus though in the meantime. He's on slightly fresher tyres. They're both on a similar strategy. Pariah getting caught in an incident early on along with Maximus. I think he's still yet to pit. Pariah is through and he's up into 7th position. So the warmer tyres clearly coming into play. But Jeffrey doing a fantastic job out on track. That 3 wide going down towards turn 12. Hadders should have committed the move there and then, and I think it could have been side by side up towards turn 13. Hadders didn't have enough commitment, and that's why he lost the position, fair and square.
Exactly. And as Key sets the fastest lap of the race, I have to say that the overtake from Hadders to Jeffrey in that in turn 15, it was amazing. I mean, he knew that he couldn't lose that much time, and he just dived in, got the inside, and he risked it. You know, he could have waited, you know, probably be safer, but he went for it, and that's something I like from drivers, you know, from those sort of drivers. He actually went for it.
Well, you know what they say here in Britain? Risk it for a chocolate biscuit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like that. It couldn't be better described.
Hadders has just dropped back off the back of Key's DRS, interestingly. Just about, by about a second now.
Yeah, I mean, 1 second. And I have to say that it's going to be interesting because, alright, now Key, Hadders, Axnes, you know, are going to be faster than Charlie and Storm. That actually, there could be teamwork going on between Charlie and Storm, you know. Probably Charlie trying to block these guys that are coming pretty fast, because now Storm and Charlie are going to struggle, you know, with those tires. And they're going to be the last 10 laps. They're going to be on softer tires, fresh. So let's hope that Charlie can actually help his teammate here, because it could actually give a spicy, you know, some spice, you know, to the race.
Yeah, just having a look, as Maximus picks up a 3-second time penalty, the gap between Storm and Jeffrey, it's the biggest indicator, I think, of where Storm is going to come out on track. It's about a 20-odd second pit stop. It's something like 20 to 22 seconds normally the pit stops around here. So Storm, I think, is going to be ahead of Jeffrey when he comes out of the pit lane and in a very comfortable net P4 out on track. That's me just looking at the leaders on the left-hand side. I have a feeling he'll be out in 6th position as it stands, but he'll be out in a net 4th later on in the race.
And watch out for Mate, because he could actually be fighting for a P6 or P7 probably. After that incident in lap 1, you know, where he lost part of the front wing. So amazing start from Mate, I have to say.
Are we going to get another 3-wide battle with Jeffrey involved, I wonder? It's Pariah and Maximus this time who are catching the back of him. Suddenly, it just came from nowhere. I think Jeffrey might have made a slight mistake somewhere right on track. Pariah is going to sail it down the inside. Beautiful camera of this. Down the inside of turn 12. Jeffrey's still down the inside. Oh, gives him a little bit of a bump. A bit of banging wheels. So you don't really appreciate that in Formula 1, but you have to love it when you see it. Jeffrey and Pariah, side by side. It's similar to what Hades did to Jeffrey on lap 15. But he's got the car ahead. Or is Jeffrey going to be up the inside? We'll take this from TV Pod. Pariah around the outside, always going to have the traction around there, gets the move done, and Jeffrey has been outgunned again by a Toro Rosso.
Yeah, but I don't think it's all over yet, because we can see that Pariah, Jeffrey and Maximus have a similar like tire life, and we can see now Jeffrey with the slipstream, he could go back down into the inside as he gets back the position. And Maximus, I think he has grabbed some popcorns, you know, and a Fanta, probably a drink, you know, to enjoy this battle, because it's amazing.
Yeah, Atlas Cooper was 2.5 seconds behind. He's probably watching this on board and thinking, well, goodness me, this is fantastic. Machivo, by the way, around the outside of Tom on fresher tyres. Tom just having a little bit of a moment. I think he might have went a little bit too deep into the corner there. Machivo is through. He had the car ahead, did Machivo. Tom, I think, just applied a bit too much power at the wrong time. Machivo's through and he's up into 12th, and Key is through on Charlie.
Yeah,
getting the move
easy
done.
move. Yeah, easy move. I was expecting, you know, something more from Charlie, but let's be honest, 12 lap mediums against those 5 lap mediums.
Round 2 between Pariah and Jeffrey around the outside of turn 12, but no way was Pariah going to pull off that one. He just totally missed his braking point, and Jeffrey hangs on to 6th. Maximus lapping this up in behind, but Atlas Copo is getting visibly closer out on track, and it's 2.3 seconds, and Pariah immediately nicked it up the inside. My God, that was half commitment, and Maximus, I think, made a slight error coming out of turn 15 there. Key, new fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, again, I mean, he's showing. I mean, I think he's furious a little bit because he lost the title, you know, and probably he wants to show that he can be as dominant as his teammate.
Yeah, I think honestly these guys, all of these guys that are continuing, are doing a fantastic job out on track. Hades is on the back of Charlie. This is for 3rd and 4th. If you can keep an eye on that one eye towards the Jeffrey battle, I'll keep an eye on the Hades-Charlie battle, because Charlie is now going to hold up Hades. Will he hold him up a treat like Jeffrey did, or is Hades just going to sign, seal and deliver this down the inside of turn 11? We'll find out in about 5 seconds time. That's a half commitment down the inside of turn 11. Not going to get the move done there. Now down the straight. This should be quite easy pickings, I think, for Hades. Pariah is on the back of Jeffrey just in behind him. Shot, we'll cut to that in just a second. But Hades now getting the move done. And he's on the inside line. He's got the car fully ahead. Comes across into the braking point. Oh, and Charlie's into the back of him. Charlie into the back of him. Hades moved across, entitled to do so to defend the position. Charlie just locked up. And he's down into P4, but always going to get that move done. Hades, and now Pariah down the inside of Jeffrey. Yeah, once again, it's round 3. And he gets the move done this time. He outplayed him that time. Yeah. Pariah is through, and he's up into 6th position. But it's like Fight Night round 3. They just keep coming back for more. Maximus is down the inside now of Jeffrey. Oh, and side-by-side contact. He needs to give up that position, I think. He was nowhere near going to get that move done. I think Maximus, to do the best thing out on track, will let him back through. He has to.
Well, to be honest, I have to disagree. I mean, I think Maximus, you know, saw the gap, he went for it, I think it was more Jeffrey that didn't expect Maximus, trying the overtake in turn 15. But I think Maximus did well. It was over-aggressive. Well, you could argue so, but he needs to take that position.
There was 2 bits of contact in that incident. I'm sure we'll get it on the replay from my perspective. There was 2 bits of contact in that incident. The first bit of contact was when Maximus was going down the inside of Jeffrey with the side pod on the left-hand side of Jeffrey's car. Maximus was not ahead of Jeffrey at that point, and the second bit of contact that was made, Jeffrey was ahead of Maximus at that point. That is my opinion on things.
I mean, the replay was shown some seconds ago, and I have to say that the contact was not that much for me. But it's always good to have different opinions. It's always good to disagree. You learn more from the other person. So, well, different ways of seeing the same action. But
Atlas Corpo! Jesus, down the inside.
Oh my god.
God, that was late. Jeffrey, I think, didn't realise it was coming. It's very similar to what we were on about with Maximus, I think, with that one. Atlas Corpo through. Again, I'm not sure whether he would have got the move done cleanly. I'm not sure if he was close enough to get the move done, but he's up to 8th anyways. And he's on a different strategy to Jeffrey, which is more important.
I mean, he was pretty close. He was 3/10 away. Well, actually, he was 4/10 away. But I think Jeffrey's just not expecting those moves, and he's just leaving the door open. And the other drivers are just like, alright, I'll take the chance,
I thought Maximus was going to go for the move on Pariah into turn 1. Goodness me, nearly giving me a heart attack there. But Pariah holding on to P6. P7 actually Maximus. They're still yet to come into the pits. Pariah's already been in, but surely he'll have to go 2-stop to the end of the race, because I cannot see those mediums lasting 26 laps out on track. There's the indicator of who's yet to pit. Storm, Charlie, Maximus, Jeffrey, all yet to pit.
Maith could actually be on a potential P6, P7,
he can.
P6. I mean, it would be amazing for him after the race he has had. But look at Mashiro. He was 8.5 4 laps ago. He's now 5.4. Probably he'll catch Maith, but still, there's plenty of laps to go. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens behind.
Plenty of racing still. I think we've been commentating on this race for 30 laps or something, to be honest. The amount of action that's been had here at Circuit of the Americas has been brilliant. We're only on lap 17. Lap 17. We've still got 11 laps to go, and thank you very much for tuning in. Apologies about the technical difficulties early on with the lobby. But Storm leading the way, Key in second, Hades in third, and for Storm, he is more than certain now on for a net P4 out on track, because all of this battling with the likes of Jeffrey as Maximus is into the pits. So he's going undercut on Pariah, I think, with that one. Yeah. He has to be.
11 laps on soft. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, you can make it, but it's going to be interesting.
They're going to be about 60-70% worn, surely, maybe even more than that by the end of the race.
And honestly, I'm pretty optimistic about the end of the race, because Storm is not losing that much as I thought. I mean, he's 7 seconds ahead of Key. Probably he'll be 6-7 seconds behind Axnes. But it's gonna be interesting to see if he's able to come back, with the softest tire.
There's not much going on now out on track. Goodness me. Yeah, there's only a battle separated by about a second, but that's the closest thing out on track. Atlas Corpo trying to catch Pariah. And Atlas Corpo, actually, is he going to get to the end of the race? Because he pitted relatively early for a set of mediums. And when did he pit? Lap 7, lap 8? 20 laps on a set of mediums? They can go there, but they're going to be quite warm.
He'll pit. I mean, I think he knows that if he has a potential probably P8, P7. Well, I mean, yeah, if he stays out, on track,
it'll be P5.
Yeah, but if he pits, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't play that. No, he's not pitting, but I wouldn't play that. I wouldn't risk that much, to be honest. If I was him, I would pit.
Yeah, he's looking like, to be honest, he is. Well, he's not over-aggressively driving out on track. He just looks like he might be taking a bit too much speed into the corners, which is really wearing away the tyres, especially the rears, which get very overheated around here at Circuit of the Americas. Charlie, by the way, is just about ahead of Mays. Mays is going to try and switch this back around the outside. It's exactly what he did to Atlas Coppo earlier on. Mays is through and he's up into 7th position. He played the smart game and it paid off, but for how long? Because Charlie's on a set of softs.
Yeah, I mean, he has been clever, you know, he out traction Charlie, but yeah, he's gonna lose the position immediately. But probably this is gonna help Mashiro, you know, to catch May. This battle going on now, and we can see, well, ahead. All right, my bad. I thought Atlas was closer to Pariah, but he was not. And look now, the overtake is gonna be really easy unless May try to outbrake Charlie.
No way he's doing that. Charlie is through and he's up into 7th, and maybe one of the easiest moves you might see all night.
Yeah.
Summed up pretty.
And we can see already Mashiro, if you go on board with him, we can see that he can already see with his own eyes, you know, the guys ahead, well, mate. And that always gives an extra motivation to the driver, you know, seeing his prey so close from him. So for sure, I think Mashiro is going to catch Mace by the end of the race.
I think you said a couple of laps ago, it was about 5 seconds, the gap between Mace and Mashiro. It's now 3.8 is coming across the line. He's gained 1.2 seconds in what, 2-3 laps, I'm thinking? Mashiro's not getting that much on Mace, and if I've got to be honest, I think Mace is now beginning to pull out on the stint away from him, because he's now pretty much borderline 4 seconds. It is now 4 seconds.
That's the DRS, basically. I mean, that's the power of being in DRS range. As we can see now, May has lost that DRS range, and we're going to see that Mashiro is going to catch again.
And Charlie, in the meantime, is absolutely flying out on track. Of course, you would expect it for him to be on a set of softs. If Atlas Coppo, by the way, comes into the pits, Charlie's on for net P5. I think out on track, if I'm not mistaken, because Storm obviously will be pitting in, I would think soon. He's going very long on this set of mediums. In fact, he's going to come into the pits now, so well timed there by Storm. He's into the pits. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. It's YWR Storm.
Alright, no, yeah, it's America.
Yeah, YWR Storm around the final corner. Still going well out on track though.
Yeah, he went, and had
Hadders and Axnes into the pits.
Well, that was a crack. But yeah, I mean, it's actually interesting because I think they know they have the gap. We can see Pariah pitting too.
Pariah's in.
Yeah, I think they knew that they were not going to catch Key, so they decided to pit again. But it's surprising because they could have had, you know, Storm position, and they're not going to have it.
I don't see the points in that though, because Access is now behind his teammate. I know, obviously he let him through, but he's now behind his teammate, and Storm's just been granted, because of those pit stops, a second position. I don't get that. Horrible mistake. In fact, it's a little bit of lag actually on my screen, so just bear with me on that one. But Axnes in 5th position. Maximus has picked up a 3-second time penalty, but doing a fantastic job out on track. Key leads the way. Key pits, by the way. I think he'll be in 2nd position because Storm is catching Key. It's going to be interesting to see. Key could stay out to the end of the race. I don't know. This is just throwing a bit of a spanner into the works.
Right now, if he pits, that would be a mistake because I think now Storm could perfectly like reduce the gap like 2 seconds per lap. And I don't know if Key is actually faster than Storm today. Anyways, I think we're gonna have a interesting ending. To be honest,
it's gonna be a very interesting ending. These guys wanting to spice it up. Of course, the championship has won. Mashiro, by the way, is in 8th position. Maximus is right on the back of him, coming through turns 13, 14, and now into 15. He's all over the back of him, and he's on a set of soft compounded tyres. Axel is getting the move done on Atlas Coppo. Yeah, Atlas is in, and YWR Storm is in as well. Maximus, though, in the meantime, hunting down Mashiro. This could be from a net P7 out on track.
P6.
Yeah, it might be for P6 actually, because Mays.
Yeah.
No, but she was under pressure now from Maximus. Yeah, Atlas Copper's going to come out behind.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maximus is down the inside. Oh, but she will realise he's coming late on.
Oh my god.
Ran the outside of turn 2. She did the traction is going to be superior with the set of softs. It's not, and Mashiro hangs on to the position.
I think Maximus backed off a little bit. I mean, probably he didn't want, you know, conflict, and he is backed off. But yeah, that position probably it's Maximus P7.
Oh!
Oh.
Storm is out of the session, and he's been disqualified for receiving multiple penalties. I think the last time I saw that within any TTL league was, if I'm not mistaken, Whitelaw Billy last season. If I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Maximus, though, down the inside line, on the straight, trying to get the move done on Mashiro, and I mean, yeah, you can see where this one's going to go. Or is he?
Actually, the straight line speed from Mashiro was not that bad.
He's ran very deep though through turn 13, where Vettel, of course, was contacted by Daniel. Was it Daniel Ricciardo? No, I think I said that wrong. Daniel Ricciardo. I was right.
Yeah.
I was right. So he just went wide through turn 13. Axa has been fastest lap of the race, but don't bear that in mind because that will drop before the end of the race for sure. There has to be another fastest lap.
In 1 lap and a half, Storm has reduced the gap by 3 seconds.
Wow.
I think we're gonna have a really close ending. If he doesn't if his tires do not wear that much, I think he's gonna be able to catch Key.
This also has championship implications for second as well, because Key is ahead of Hades and he's ahead of Storm. Key will wrap up second in the championship if he wins here tonight and he keeps ahead of Storm and Hades. Whether he pits in though is a different thing. If he pits in, it's game over. He cannot finish second tonight, but as it stands as it is, Key will get second, currently out on track, because Hades, obviously, I think it was 18 points coming into tonight. He's 10 points ahead of him, 28 points in total. Key would be ahead of Hades, and he's ahead of Storm by a bigger margin as well. So Key will actually wrap up second here tonight if he stays out on track, and he is for now. 6 laps to go.
Yeah, and Atlas Copo overtaking Pariah really is... Oh, well, not that easy.
Oh, Pariah switches it back.
Yeah, nice traction by the Toro Rosso driver. Again, he switched back.
He's wide. Oh, it's going to be side by side, is it? No.
He's going to try again the switchback, but I don't know if he'll work. Pretty close. I mean, that was actually a good try from Pariah there.
I think both of them had a good try, to be honest. Atlas Copo tried to switch it back on Pariah. Pariah tried to switch it back on Atlas Copo. To be honest, both of them switching it back on each other is a good thing at heart. I mean, we've got a 5-second gap to Jeffrey, but if there was a car behind, 7/10 of a second behind, Maximus down the inside. I saw that right at the top of the hill, right on the ball with that Pariah. Maximus nearly dived it down the inside of Mace there, but he's still in P7. Is it a matter of time he'll get the move done? I think it will be.
If I was... Well, actually, I don't know.
Oh, is he? No, I thought he was going to get them through turn 8.
If I was Mate, I would try here, you know, to give DRS like the other way around, you know, to let Maximus by. But yeah, it's a pretty difficult spot to let the rival, you know, overtake you. But let's see what happens in the straight. Maybe Mate has some good straight line speed, but we can see that with slopestream.
And you can see where this is going to go.
Yeah.
You can see where this is going to go. Maximus has just sauntered on by Maze. Will Maze try and cut back? We saw it. Yeah, we saw it last time though with Maze. He didn't go for the move at all, and I think it was a Toro Rosso passing him that time. So Maze now down to 7th. But I've got to be honest. These guys have really recovered well. Both Maze and Mashiro, with that early bits of contact, with Maze's alternate strategy as well. They've both done really well to get as they have done in 7th and 8th. I think Maze especially more than Mashiro, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both. For me, Maze race, it's, you know, to like we have to congratulate him, because he had good pace, you know, and despite that incident in lap 1, that once again he hasn't had the luck, you know, that he probably wants.
Atlas Coppo was trying to go down the inside. Mashiro's gone too deep. Atlas Coppo is going to saunter on by, and this is going to let Pariah through, possibly around the outside as well. Mashiro on that set of hard compound of tyres, having no grip at all through turn 1, and he tries to juke it down the inside of Atlas Coppo. Never going to pull that one off. He's holding Pariah up an absolute treat. That mistake has cost Mashiro 1 position. It could cost him 2 because Pariah's on the back of him as well. And we've only got pretty much 4 laps to go.
Yeah, and it's like now it's interesting to see those guys that went on soft, to see them catching up again, you know, and it will be interesting to see if actually Maith or Mashiro try something crazy, as we can see Atlas down the inside.
Atlas down the inside of Maze. Mashiro is under pressure from Pariah as well, and both positions have been gained. So Atlas Coppo is doing up to 7th, or is he? Maze trying to come back at him there. Not quite. Atlas Coppo is through to 7th, and Pariah is now through up to 9th position. Those hards beginning to feel the pinch, I think, now.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, Maith and Mashiro struggling quite a lot, and I feel bad for Maith because in the end I think he's gonna end 10th. To be fair,
that's Viking trying to
Mashiro
go.
Will also. Oh yeah.
Round the outside of Conti, Maximus is round through the final corner. Maximus is round through the final corner on a set of softs. Pariah's down the inside of Maze as well in towards turn 1. Sorry I missed that with Maximus. Saw it on the mini-map, but Pariah's through and he's up the inside of Maze through up to P7. And Maximus, I think, he might have just got a bit tail-happy out of the final corner, and it was similar to YWR Storm's mistake earlier. He's got left side end plate damage and right side, so he's got both end plates off. So clearly he's hit the wall at the final corner. Maximus now has to troop around, and I think he will be out of the points if I'm not mistaken. If we can, with it being the final 3.5 laps to go, can we run through the penalties by any chance?
I knew you were going to say that, so let's actually go with it. Key has actually 2 penalties, and he's on his last warning. We can see Storm that only has, well, 2 penalties, but no warnings. And Harris in 3rd, he has 2 penalties. At the moment everyone has 2 penalties. Then we have Axnes with 2 penalties. Please totally break this streak. Yeah, he has no penalties like always. Pretty constant on his laps. Then we have Atlas with 1 penalty and 2 warnings. Pariah, I think he has a couple of penalties. He has no, he only have 2 actually, but he's on his last warning. May has 1 penalty. Yeah, that's it. And closing the top 10 with Mashiro and Maximus. Mashiro has 2 penalties. Pretty weird from him to have penalties. No, and Jeffrey is on the top 10. He has 2 penalties. No, 3
penalties for Jeffrey. Maze and Mashiro having a dice of a battle going through turn 1, and Mashiro down the inside. Nearly leaning on each other. Goodness me, so close. I think Mashiro realised it. He might have played a bit of a tactical blinder here as well. He'll get the DRS round the straight, but Maze is through for now, and he's up into 8th position. God, that was close.
Much closer than what probably we expected. That could have ended really, really badly, but fortunately it didn't. And we can see Maximus pitting for soft.
Yeah, past his lap.
Yeah.
He can get it, but I don't think he'll get the point because he's out of the top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty weird, like, what he has done. I have to say that... Oh, and look at that, Mashiro going again.
Look at Mashiro, straight line speed. Goodness me, he's gone again. The Japanese man. Maze trying to hold around the outside.
Yeah.
He's still there. He's still going to be there through turn 13. I tell you what, Maze is down the inside here. Can the Renault get the move done on the McLaren? The leaders, by the way, start on the final 2 laps. Oh, and there's contact. And Maze, luckily, has not. Keep on going. Keep on going with that front wing. Go on. You know you want the points. Tom's behind you. It should be quite good. Hopefully he'll get to the end.
He has 2 laps to go. He could still be in the top 10.
Now,
Come on, don't retire.
Was that contact between Maze and Mashiro, or was that just Maze losing the back end?
No, it was contact. I mean, he was around the outside, and Mashiro, I mean, I wouldn't say it was Mashiro's fault. It was just bad luck because Mashiro, you know, he was doing the normal line and they just hit. I mean, it was a hit. Unfortunate for Maith. I mean, his luck has been horrible in TTL F2. In here, it has also been really, really bad. And I feel bad for him because today he had pace, you know. But what can I say? Maybe next time, you know.
He got to lap 26 before there was contact and before he had bad luck. It's better than lap 1. It's better than that one. Just think about it. Key, he's coming around the final corner to start the final lap of the race, and well, he's staying out there on a set of mediums. 20 laps on a set of mediums. I dare not look on this final lap, to be honest, because I think there might be a puncture coming.
Well, actually, I'm gonna say that we can guarantee that there's not gonna be a puncture because Mr. Saving Tires, you know, also known as Conti, you know, look, he has 24 laps in his mediums. I mean, always Conti, you know, he gets on another level. I don't know how he always finds a way to stretch the tires to another level. So probably he won't have a puncture.
It'll be 26 laps by the time he gets to the end of the race. So he's only done a one stop. It's insane. And he's just lost the back end there. We don't want to. We don't want to commentators curse him now. We've been scot-free all night. Key.
I mean, he's struggling.
He is struggling, bless him. Maximus is behind him by 12 seconds. He should just not take any risk, get the car home for 12th, I think. Key now out of turn 12 for the final time. It's been a dominant performance from Key out on track. Yep. He chose the alternate strategy. Is he going to get home? Touching wood, he doesn't get a puncture in the next couple of laps or so, or in a couple of corners or so. Key is going to be winning here out on track, and not only that, he will wrap up second in the championship, providing penalties doesn't add. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. It is Tom, I think that was round, if I'm not mistaken.
It
or
could
was
be,
that Conti? One of the two, anyways. Key. Key ran the final corner to win. So Key is going to cross the line to win here in America. Fantastic win. Stormer's catching him all the way to the line. We see him at the final corner. And he's tail happy at the final corner. He realised he's not going to get the win. Finishes second. Hades across the line in third position as well. Axner's across the line in fourth. Top 4 remain as they are due to 2 and 3 time penalties that they picked up. Charlie, I think, has driven maybe one of the better races of the season for him. I think he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, brilliant race. I mean, I cannot say anything else. He has done an outstanding job.
Charlie finishing 5th, Atlas Coppo 6th, Pariah finishing in 7th. Is Mashiro going to gain on Pariah? He doesn't. Sadly not. Jeffrey is going to be across the line in 9th. On the set of soft compound tyres, he's still going out on track. We're still going to be running through the order, maybe until late into the night, with Maximus is going to be the final car across the line.
And Tom could actually get Jeffrey's position.
Jeffrey across the line in 9th. Tom, you're right, he gains him on penalty. So Tom up to 9th position. Joint best finish of the season for him, and more points for the Welshman. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, he has improved a lot. I mean, I have to congratulate him because he hasn't given up, you know. At the start of the season he was way off the pace, but he has practiced and practiced and practiced, and now he's, you know, regularly fighting to enter in the top 10. So yeah, I can only say that, congratulate him.
Max Bike in 11th, Conti 12th, and it was Maximus, of course, coming across the line in 13th position. But for the first time in 7 races, it's not Mashiro on Paul. It's not Mashiro who's got the win. It's his teammate Key. I said it. I predicted a winner this season in TTL F1 League 2. My God.
Look, I have to say that
Genius.
for once, you've been able to, you know, to resist that power that you have to curse drivers. So I congratulate you. I mean, if it wasn't for Mashiro thing that happened at the start of the race, probably you could have ride the top 3. So
Could have.
yeah,
honestly. Yeah, just call me Mystic James going forward now. And a genius. Key.
Nah. Don't get that motivated, you know. It was only
Definitely
one
not.
time, you know. Lucky of the rookie. Let's say that.
It's Brazil next week, so it all comes tumbling down. Key wins here from Storm in second, from 10th position on the grid, did well for second, Hades third, Axnes in fourth. Charlie, my drive of the day, not picking up any penalties, kept it consistent, gets my drive of the day for fifth. Atlas Coppola 6th, Pariah 7th, Mashiro 8th, good job from him, Tom in 9th, Jeffrey 10th, Viking Conti, Maximus Mays, Passels and YWR Storm rounding off the grid. And YWR Storm and Passels, I think, were the only two DNFs out on track, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were. Pretty sure they were.
Not sure, actually.
But that has ended off round 10 of the United States Grand Prix here at Circuit of the Americas. I hope everyone has enjoyed the action here tonight. Again, apologies about our technical difficulties. Somebody forgot to put on the formation map, but we got there in the end and there was no glitches, which is very good to see. And of course, we will be back, of course, next week. But as a cheeky advertisement, let's stick it up once again for everyone's benefit. Of course, TTL now becoming TTML, the TT Masters League. What does that mean? Well, we've merged with TMC, and TMC, of course, have been part of our mini league in the past. I think it's a fantastic step forward out on track, and there is rumours that there's going to be 5 divisions worth of action covered live on TTTV when the new game comes out, which I think is remarkable. And I think just to speak about as well, I know I've seen the provisional commentary lineup for now. It could all change, but myself and Paco are going to be alongside each other on a Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be quite good. And
on Tuesdays, I think.
And on Tuesdays as well, with Kieran.
I'm your worst nightmare.
And I think I'm doing Thursday as well, which is not too bad. But not as many...
workaholic.
Yeah, not as many days as what I do now, to be honest. But honestly, I think it is a fantastic step forward. There's been more than 80 sign-ups now for the league. Get following on Twitter at TTML_F1 to keep up to date with everything that you can catch on board with. Of course, if you haven't been made aware as well, we do have the Discord, so if you are one of those TMC drivers, I'm sure you will be getting or have got invites into our Discord server where everything and the sign-ups and everything are now open. So get signing up, because if you want to drive like these guys at the Circuit of the Americas, it was absolutely fantastic tonight. If you've been inspired, sign up, because it is the best thing to do. Suarez, I think you've signed up, if I'm not mistaken, have you?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to. I will. I mean, I have been really busy, you know, with different stuff, school and all that. But yeah, I will for sure, because it's the best thing to do.
It's a TTL F1 League 2 exclusive right at the end of the stream. Fantastic stuff. But thank you as always, Paco, for joining me, and we missed you last week. We really did.
I mean, it's always a pleasure, you know, to be alongside with you. And yeah, I was sad, you know, to not be here last week, but you know, health is the priority, you know. I'm glad to be back, to be honest.
You're glad to be back, and you absolutely called it to perfection. I think honestly the action out on track tonight was very great. Hopefully you're going to join next week as well for the season finale of TTL F1 League 1. League 1 and League 2 in fact as well. But tomorrow night we do have action for you on the CRC channel. We do have for you touring cars for round 3, races 5 and 6, and we are at Ruapuna Park Grand Prix circuit in New Zealand. So please tune in for that. Racing at home and taking a 10-point lead coming into tomorrow night. So make sure you are tuned in for that, because the racing last week was great in Germany. The racing, I think, will be even better at Ruapuna Park. And I'll have to learn the corner names between now and tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, because I don't really know the track that well. So, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be fascinating, I think. But thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. As always, stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service wherever you live as well. Do not stay alert and control the virus, but do save lives, because it is the most important thing. Our health is the most important thing, and hopefully we will all get onto the other side of this and we will come together like we always do. And another tribute as well that I want to pay, it is the 3rd year anniversary as well of the Manchester Arena terror attack. Our thoughts and prayers here at TTG are with everyone that was affected by that awful terror attack on Thursday, on the 22nd of May, 3 years ago. And it just puts into perspective how life can go by that quick, because I didn't realise it was the 3rd year anniversary of the terror attack. But our thoughts and prayers are with everyone, and of course please protect the NHS and please save lives and stay at home whenever you can. Paco, final thoughts from you. Fantastic action out on track. Brazil next week, are we going to see the same?
Well, I hope so. I mean, Brazil always delivers. I mean, I've commentated recently many races in Brazil, and it always delivers. So I'm expecting action, and let's hope, please, that we can have a typical Brazil Grand Prix, you know, where there is mixed conditions on track. That would be awesome to end the season.
It'll be fantastic. Are we going to see a race of the season candidate next week? Well, the only way you can do is tune in. Final shout out as well to Tom behind the scenes. I'm sure he'll be waving to the camera right now if he had a face cam on him. But fantastic graphics work as always. And I better get off the stream before I get kicked off, because we're rambling on a bit too much. So thank you so much for watching here tonight in TTL F1 League 2. We'll see you tomorrow night as always for the touring cars for Competitive Racing Club. But until then, I've been James Head. He's been Paco Suarez. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next week for the showdown in Brazil, goodbye.